Okay, living dangerously for this last video on chapter 9. This is one we're going to go over example 2. This is a great review on how to do all the different various transformations. Well, not all of them, but 2 of the tougher ones, transformations in regard to composition. So example 2 says, what are the coordinates of D 1/2 composite R 180, 0 RST? Okay, so number 1, I'm living dangerously, 5% left. I can handle this. Number 2, we got a lot going on. So first, let's break down what are we going to be doing first. Well, we always do what's closest to the pre-image first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be rotating RST 180 degrees around the origin or point O. Okay, so let's figure out how to do this. Well, as a reminder, what we're going to do first is we're going to build our supports to each point. So if I need to figure out how much I rotate to get to point T prime, that's a little tough if I draw a direct line there. How do I measure that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something which is much easier for me to rotate, and that is rotating points that are vertical or horizontal. Okay, so I have my first support built. It's 2 units to the left, 2 units up. Now what happens if I rotate this green line 180 degrees? It's going to end up over here. Okay, and my orange line is going to end up down like this. As a reminder, your rotations, if you're doing them correctly, will kind of follow this spoken wheel, the Hindu symbol for peace. Okay, and it will look something like that if you're doing your rotations correctly. Now, so I have my new point, and I'm going to label this point T prime. Okay, now this is not my final image because I'll still have to do something else after that, but T prime is my last one. Okay, now let's go ahead and erase the supports here. Okay, what am I doing next? I can go ahead and, I don't know, let's pick point R. So point R, I'm going to go over 6 units to the left, and I go 2 units up. What happens if I rotate this 180 degrees? Well, it's going to go over here, and it's going to go 6 units to the right. It's going to go 2 units down, and here we have point R prime. Finally, we have point S. I'm going to erase this. Point S. Same deal. I'm going to show you just a slightly different way to do it. I'm going to go up from my center of rotation first. I decided to do a dotted line for this. No particular reason why. I just forgot. So then I have there. This is 4 units up, 2 units to the left. So as I rotate this 180 degrees, what happens to it? I end up having it point down. 1, 2, 3, 4 units down. And it goes from pointing to the left to pointing to the right. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, and then 1, 2, 3, just 2. And then this is point S prime. Okay, if you're struggling with this concept, I encourage you to go rewatch the rotations video. But yes, that's kind of the principle we use, is the supports, the horizontal and vertical supports, because it's easier to rotate those. If we wanted to, we could draw lines connecting the 3 vertices, which isn't tremendously important because we still have the second rotation, or excuse me, transformation. So we do the first one closest to the pre-image first, and now we're moving on, because this is a composition, to the second transformation, which is a dilation. Now, what is the dilation? It is a reduction. How do I know it's a reduction? Because that is a number between 0 and 1. So this shape is going to get smaller. Now, before I proceed, I need to label my vertices of this shape. This will help me with my reduction. So I have 2, -2 for T prime, and then I have 2, -4 for S prime. What do I do from here? Well, if I'm going to be having a scale factor of 1/2, I need to multiply 1/2 to all 3 of these coordinates and then write the result. So 1/2, let's do each one separately, starting with r prime. So r prime times 1/2. First we multiply the x, and then we multiply the y. So 6 times 1/2 will give me 3. This is going to be my r double prime just because I want something labeled something else. Negative 2 times 1/2 gives me negative 1. So I have 3, negative 1. 3, negative 1. So that is my r double prime. Now I have s prime. I'm going to do that one second. I multiply 1/2, I get 1. Then I get negative 4 times 1/2, I get negative 2. That's my s double prime. Where's that point? 1, negative 2. That's over here. Okay, and then finally I have t, and I multiply both by 1/2. I get 1, comma, negative 1. That's my t prime, t double prime, excuse me. Connect my dots, and there I have it. Now, I probably should erase my purple just so I don't get confused which one's my answer, because when I have composition, the only one that is important is the final result after I do both of the transformations. So it becomes... it does a rotation, then it dilates and has a reduction, and this is my final answer. Hope you found this video helpful. I will see you next time.